All right, we're live, we're recording. Holy smokes. This week's topic is about the conundrum of feeling old when you're still young. And I'm sure that a lot of people within my age group have either seen older people that they know or perhaps an older sibling that they know experience this dilemma. And if you're sort of like me, when I found myself in that situation as an observer, I thought to myself, man, you're not that old, or it'll be years until I feel the way that they do. But yet, here I am at 23 and I feel old. I feel like the older age group within Gen Z is in this weird transitional point where the door to our youth is slowly closing in on us. We're slowly but surely being replaced as the youth by slightly more younger people within our own generation, which is crazy. If you've been on the internet, more specifically on the TikTok side of things, I'm sure you've come across the joke about pushing 30, which in all honesty is a joke at the end of the day. But I find it crazy because there's a lot of individuals that say it and actually say it as an insult. In fact, they say it with such validity that they believe being 30 is old. And I find it sad because this group of people seem to keep shifting what they deem as old to even younger ages like 29, 27, or even as low as 25. In conjunction with all of that, a lot of older Gen Zers are now fully starting their adulting phase. We're working, paying bills, making hard decisions we don't want to, making sacrifices we don't want to, and just about everything in between. But do we feel older and are older because we are now taking on the responsibilities that come with adulthood? In all honesty, I don't think so. I think the real issue to this negative mindset that plagues our minds is what we're consuming on our phones and on social media on a day-to-day basis. Young people, phenomenal success, fast stardom, and lots of money. Comparison is the culprit as to what is making you feel older. Now, comparison in general is honestly completely fine and normal to express. In fact, it can be a productive tool that can help you with perspective, direction, and help gauge the things that you're trying to accomplish. But alternatively, it can be a self-destructive poison that leads you down a path of envy and bitterness, which will ultimately do more harm to what you're trying to accomplish. Depending on how your outlook is with comparison, it will yield those respective results. Look at just about any medium of creative work that you're interested in, whether it's film, acting, music, whatever it is. I'm more than certain that in the last 5 years or so, there was most likely this young breakout talent that became super successful within that field, and I'm pretty sure it was most likely well publicized. Drawing from my own experience, I can recount so many times when my mom would be watching the local news and there would be a story about some kid that made thousands of dollars from his bedroom on his computer doing something lucrative. She would then turn to me in a half serious and half teasing way and say, "Why can't you do that? You spend a lot of time in your room and on your computer." And I would think to myself, man, I mean, I am and I'm trying, but it isn't as easy as they're making it out to be. That right there was most likely the kickstart to a lot of people, including myself, to having an unhealthy relationship with comparison. Let's move into the world of music for a second because it's something I'm really passionate about and it relates to the topic at hand. I recall this one time I was with my ex-girlfriend in her dorm room and we were listening to music for whatever reason. Various artists' songs came on, but there was one particular artist that came on and she was ecstatic. It was this woman, and I honestly don't remember her name, but all I will say is that she's a content creator that just started dabbling into the world of music. Anyways, my ex was admiring her work as an artist and just expressing how good she sounds. When I heard her express the sincere admiration for this artist, I was subconsciously envious and wanted that type of praise for my own work, which at the time was non-existent. I feel like I should preface this before I continue any further. At this current point in my life, I had crippling low self-esteem and I wanted to create shit, but never was able to because of a lack of discipline, direction, and balance within my life. Anyways, instead of letting her express this admiration that she had for this artist, I wanted to voice my own take. Do you want to guess what direction my take went in? It was negative. Of course, it was negative. I pointed out all the flaws, how corny the lyrics sounded, how basic the beat was, how her performance lacked confidence, all of it. And you want to know how she responded? She said something so basic that had so much substance. If I were to have just been level-headed in this situation and not expressed so much envy that it was palpable, I would have comprehended it fully. She said, well, she's just starting, so she's not gonna immediately be good at it. This perspective, in which I carry to this day, is how I look at any up-and-coming creative, no matter the size of their following. Instead of casting unwarranted judgment due to jealousy, I make the active decision to either fully support them or to just completely stay silent. Sometimes, if you don't have anything nice to say, it's better to not say anything at all. However, if I need to provide any criticism whatsoever, it will be the most productive feedback in order for them to hone in on their craft. And sometimes things are just bad, and they need to be bad before things can get better. It's a process, and I've honestly learned that within my own work. Wrapping this up, I want to state the message of this week's video as transparently as possible. Yes, you are older, but you are not old. There will always be someone in your particular field that it's much more younger than you, much more smarter than you, much more prettier than you, much more whatever. But we shouldn't look at those individuals with so much envy or feel like we're not progressing as much as them. If you're creative, and I don't care what field you're in, but if you're creative, I want you to see those young artists who become successful and look at them with genuine delight. Don't be insincere. I mean genuine happiness for their success. Be happy that they're successful and that they made it because it was their time to shine. Be mindful that just because it was their time to shine doesn't mean that your time isn't coming. They didn't eat your opportunity to become successful. They didn't take your moment to shine. We all blossom at different times, and knowing that fact should keep you level-headed within this journey of creativity. If you're listening to this, know that your time is coming. But you have to work hard and improve within your craft and be extremely patient for your wildest dreams to come into fruition. That's pretty much all I have to say, and this remaining part within the video is just a little bit of an update. Sorry for not uploading a video last week. I actually decided to sit on this one that you're currently watching in order to spend more time on it and refine it to make it better. Hopefully you can tell because I'm working extremely hard to overhaul the content, the editing, and just overall channel as a whole. This is a season of change for me as a creative and as a person, and I'm really excited to give y'all insight into my unpredictable and unruly creativity within this journey of mine. The pretty, the bad, the sometimes funny, and the ugly. Anyways, each week we're getting closer and closer to unveiling these two other forms of content I'm really excited to introduce to the channel, but that will come in due time. I just felt the need to officially say it to an official capacity so I can hold myself accountable so I actually end up doing it. TLDR, for what I just said, more shit is coming, so be excited. But that's pretty much it for me this week. Hope you're doing good. I'll see you next time.